Hi, this is James Shillinglaw. I'm here at the Avoya Travel Conference on Navigator of the Seas, and we're here with Jeff and Mike Anderson, who's the new co-presidents of Avoya Travel, and we're going to find out all about Avoya's plans for the future as part of Avoya 2025, which is a plan they announced last year. We're going to find out how far along they are on it on Insider Travel Report. You announced this last year. I think, Jeff, you referred to it as your kind of mission to Mars. And here we are a year later. Where are we on this plan right now?
So technically we're still in phase one. We've got 5 phases that are each 18 months apiece. And so we're in phase one. That wraps up at the end of this year, and then we'll jump to phase 2.
Right, that's it. And Mike, what have you accomplished in the past year? What did you say?
So Avoya 2025 is all about taking the platform that we've created,
which is a long time, yeah.
Yep, which really consists of 3 different user groups. We have our travelers, we have our travel sellers, which are independent affiliated agencies, and then our suppliers. So it's about breaking those 3 user groups apart and making sure that we've got initiatives that fall within each of those so that it's strengthening the platform as a whole. So yeah, we've been busy for the last year. We've got a lot on slate for the next 6 months as we approach the end of phase 1. So we've accomplished a lot, but we still have a lot left to do. We've got, on the technology side, we've rolled out lots of enhancements in our agent power system, which is the system that our independent agencies use to book and sell and service their travel. As well as on the traveler side on avoyatravel.com, lots of improvements there, making the vacation finding experience that much better, which ties everything together so that it's easier to sell, and we're selling the suppliers that are partnering with us.
And also, you've gotten a lot more brand awareness of Avoya as a whole. You've been focusing on that, right?
Yeah, we've always wanted to be a consumer-focused brand. It's important for our travelers to know who we are, and it's also important for our agencies to be able to be using a name and leveraging that name that's got tremendous credibility out in the industry. So we have the opportunity to spread the good things that we're doing even more, and so that means lots more media buying, lots more press, and we've just recently started to roll out a new brand refresh, which includes a nice
new logo.
Nice new logo, and some really beautiful collateral that's going to allow us to be more intimately connected with each segment that Mike talked about earlier. So we're just very excited about that.
You even have a new storefront for Avoya where you can buy Avoya logo, which is actually very nice. Actually, I like the shirts and I like the logo. I asked if the jackets were part of it, but not yet, right?
Not yet. No, we're proud of our image. I mean, we are professionally oriented. We like to have a ton of fun, but we want to be crisp and put together for our clients. They're going to invest $10 to $20 to $50 to $500,000 on a trip with us, and they expect a great degree of professionalism. And so we really feel strong about being a premium brand. That's part of our composition of who we are. We're pretty chill and laid back, though, at the same time. But we've got very important work to do. People take their time incredibly seriously, just like they take their money. And so we think it's important for us as we continue to look forward to building who we are, that it does have a physical image behind it that allows us to kind of set ourselves apart out in the marketplace. And
you've been known as being very cruise focused, and you really have that down, and now you're sort of been really going into selling more all-inclusives and tour products. And has that been a challenge for you on the technology side and to get that all integrated?
Yeah, we've got such a breadth of experience on the cruise side that because of all those years, it's very comfortable for us. Going outside of that, it presents challenges just because it's different. The cruise industry has done a good job of consolidating and allowing their product to be booked through different GDSs. They like either to have the option of booking on their own websites or via GDS. And so that makes it less challenging to stitch all the information together on the technology side to build that into our systems. On the land side, that's more of a challenge. We've made great strides on the escorted tour side over the years, but the resort side is the new component to that. And so as we establish these relationships that we've been working on these past few years, it's opening up doors and the possibilities are there. It's just a matter of getting comfortable with each other and then figuring out what that next phase of our plan is going to look like as it includes them.
No, and so far it sounds great. We've been seeing presentations by a lot of the major resort chains here, and I know I used to talk to Brad, your dad, about this, and that all-inclusives were a similar sale to cruising, so it should be something you should work on. Now, one of the other things is you really have expanded the organization, and now to bring in this 2025 plan, I mean, you've gone from like 500 agents, and now you're up to 1,250. Has that proved to be a challenge at all?
I mean, it's not easy to grow at that pace. It takes a lot of energy, a lot of hard work, big budget. And so being able to go and grow the network the way that we have in 2017, 2018, and now 2019, when you double in size, especially at the volume that we're already at, it takes a lot of sophisticated technology, communication. It takes the right chemistry and the right teammates to be able to pull that off. And as part of 2025, we know that the organization needs to get significantly bigger on all fronts. Right. So that's true on the independent agencies and the network that we have there. That's got to continue to grow substantially. But we also know that our support staff with our employees, that needs to continue to grow.
How many do you have now?
We've got about 175
right.
That are in support. And we're very, very proud of the ratio that we have between support agents and independent agencies. These independent agencies are brilliant. They're doing very important work, not just from like an Avoya perspective, but from a people perspective. Like, this is real life, and people take their time very seriously. And so it's really important for us to get behind them and make sure that we're delivering not just solutions that work really well for today's type of consumer, but also to get ahead of the curve and try to figure out where the puck is going.
And sometimes it's challenging. As we learn every day, there's something new, right?
Yeah. And we try to be cutting edge. We don't like being bleeding edge, but we do like to be cutting edge. And sometimes we'll be a little bit later to the market in certain things because we're not ready for it. It doesn't make good business sense for us to jump into something that we're not prepared to do extraordinarily well. Quite a few of us are perfectionists, and so we like to make sure.
Who's a perfectionist?
Not the code people. No, so it's really important for us to get something really, really thoughtfully put together before we bring it to market.
Right. Now, you're going into phase 2 of your 2025 plan, and what are the objectives in this next phase?
You want to handle that?
Yeah. So we've done the resort expansion. We've improved a number of things foundationally within the code base of Agent Power, which is our travel agency software. And so with those changes, we've got a much larger portfolio of products to sell. That product expansion will continue into other categories, which we're not going to announce quite yet. But we'll be looking at those other categories. As it relates to Agent Power, now that we've rewritten so much of the code base itself and put it on new hardware, we're really excited about being able to quickly iterate the development of it. A large portion of that is going to be continuing to build the platform and the interactions that happen between the travel agencies and the travelers. And so there's so much communication that goes back and forth between the two today. We think that there's a good opportunity to help make that process more seamless and more collaborative between those two parties. So between the independent agencies and travelers, that's a huge initiative. Another one would be on the supplier front. There is no unified supplier platform out there to work with travel agencies. So we kind of see an opportunity in the marketplace to be able to bring this gap closer together and bridge some really neat software and put it in place that take these massive, very spectacular companies and bring them really into the same platform on a day-to-day basis as the agents are.
Sounds like you got a lot of work to do here.
You know, the unique thing that we have, because our systems are all integrated and our 3 different user groups of the travelers, the travel sellers, and the suppliers, it enables us to look at the data and see things that otherwise you wouldn't be able to see if you were in disconnected systems. And so we've got a huge opportunity as we're looking at what we're seeing to say, how do we continue to tie these 3 groups closer together, find those efficiencies, find those inflection points where a little change here can make a world of difference in any of those 3 groups. So we're really excited about it. It feels like we're just kind of at the tip of the iceberg of what we're going to be able to do. So yes,
Yeah.
I've got some work to do.
Yeah, no, it does feel when you rebuild a fresh code base to operate off of, the learnings, opportunities that you have based on past experience combined with the future technology, and it's a magical combination of the two. Our product iterations will happen significantly faster over the next phase because of the code work that we're doing in phase 1. So it's really exciting for us. It's kind of, there's definitely some startup energy with us being able to write something that's brand new and has been conceived before in a conversation, but it was never really fleshed out into reality. And that's what our goal is in phase 2.
Well, thanks for taking the time to explain the Avoya 2025 strategy. We're going to be talking, zeroing in on one particular program in the next segment we do on Avoya Top Picks, which is an example of exactly what you were talking about, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, but it's great to see you guys. It's been a great conference, and as always, I've enjoyed meeting all of your independent agent affiliates and also seeing you guys together. It's great. Congratulations again on being named co-presidents.
Thank you, James.
Thank you.
I'm James Shillinglaw, and this is Insider Travel Report.